Gentlemen, welcome back to Tiege Hanley Starting Business, Building Brand Vlog. This one, big number 341. Can you believe that I've been doing this, cranking out weekly vlogs for 341 consecutive weeks? It's insane. Something else that is insane is, remember last vlog on that table that I showed you? If you watched the vlog that Antonio's in, by the way, one of you, you know who you are, commented that the thumbnail for the last vlog looked like a gay dating website. Antonio and I looked like a very happy, healthy gay couple, which I don't disagree. Antonio and I, just for the record, we have a huge bromance. Like, I love him, he loves me. We're just great friends. And, you know, it's funny because the relationship started with me not liking him. Like, he was in YouTube and I didn't want anybody else talking about style and YouTube. And then he was like, yo, let's get together. I've told the story before. So anyway, he and I just love spending time together, and it's really easy and comfortable. And we both bring a tremendous amount of value to the other person's lives. And so, yes, if I were gay, Antonio would definitely, and Antonio was gay, he'd probably be on my list of dudes to date. Is that weird? Did I actually say that? Anyway, something else I say is, you know how in the last vlog, the table that I showed you with all my crap, I had a COVID test there? Well, it was because we went to a wedding. I was best man. I told you that like a week ago, a little over a week ago. Well, we didn't get COVID from that, but apparently my wife picked it up from an awards ceremony last Tuesday. So not this past Tuesday, the Tuesday before. Quick backstory. So I set up an endowment for my local school system. And basically, you know, and I'm not telling you this to like humble brag. I'm just saying that set up an endowment, which essentially is like a scholarship that will be donated to, or I'm going to continue to donate on an annual basis, money. And I started it with 20 grand, and I'm going to try to do 20 grand every year. And really, it was incredible. Like, I've been thinking about kind of like, what is a charity that I could kind of get involved with and get behind. And one day I was running, and there's this foundation, the Marietta School Foundation, that I have gotten to know the guy who runs it. I've gotten to know actually the chief impact officer for the school system. And then I also had the privilege to meet the superintendent, Grant Rivera, who is doing some incredible things in the school system. And so, you know, I don't have kids, but I'm very, you know, aware that our environment, or I should say the place that I live, Marietta, that I love, that I talk about all the time, you know, I live in a little like subsection of it, right? I live in the, you know, white rich section. And, but that's not what the majority of the demographic is in the school system. I think it's 70% is Black or African American. I think 20% is actually Latino, and then 10% is split between white and Asian. And so, you know, like 75% of the kids that go to our school are on government assistance for you know, for their food and stuff like that. And so, long story short, I was thinking about a place where I could kind of get behind in terms of, you know, support a bit financially and give back to my community that I love so much. And so it just kind of made sense. I met with them and set up the Aaron and Tracy Marino, you know, endowment fund that basically we're going to contribute every year. We started it with 20 grand. So anyway, they wanted to acknowledge us at this like end of the year like ceremony that they were having. The whole school board was there, and they're like, hey, would you be willing to do this? And normally I would have been like, you know, no, I'm good. I don't need the, you know, I don't need, you know, a thank you or anything like that. But this guy Joe at the foundation was like, it'd be really good for us because we could use it to kind of like promote that, hey, look, somebody just set up a foundation because or an endowment, because apparently they struggle getting people to actually do stuff like this. And so so we went. Something really cool happened when we went to this event. The impact officer came up to me and said, hey, just to let you know, I've already used some of the funds. And I said, really? Cool. For what? And she goes, there were two students who had like house fires and were homeless. And so they used it to get like temporary housing for these kids. And so that's awesome. Anyway, long story longer, Tracy and I were invited to go to this thing. It was in the middle school auditorium, and we're there, and I'm like, all right, you know, if COVID's gonna happen, this is probably, one of those environments, kids everywhere, like just packed, right? And so, long story short, or I should say long story longer, on Saturday, Tracy woke up, she's like, I have a scratchy throat. And then Sunday, she ended up feeling a little bit more congested. We tested and she was positive. Antonio was feeling good. Everything was good. She kind of did her own thing. He left on Monday. And Monday, before he left, took tests and we're like, all right, Antonio, you're good. Go back. Well, Antonio today, and today I'm filming this on a Wednesday. I call him, I go, how you feeling, man? And he's like, I have a low-grade fever. I'm like, oh no. And so he's going to get another test. So I don't know. I feel like I am on like such borrowed COVID time. But anyway, so that's kind of the story. Something else I want to talk about is kind of just give you an update on the house situation. So you know how when I first started talking about building a new house, in my head, there was that one inspiration house, the big brick white house that I love and the slate roof and everything. It was just like the most beautiful house I'd ever seen. And so all this time, I've been doing this now. We've been working on this house since January, so almost like 17 months I've been working on this, 16 months. This whole time I've thought I'm gonna do a white brick house, right? Because I love white brick houses. Well, the other day I had a meeting with my architect, Linda, and they had this like computer rendering, which is super badass, right? Like crazy nuts, like super cool. And I'm sitting there and I'm looking at this house and they had it white and I'm like, I'm sick of white houses. I'm sick of white brick houses because in the town that I live and probably where you live, if somebody wants to like update a house, what do? Boom, paint it white, paint the sashes in the windows dark, right? Marietta, it seems like every new house they're building is a white house. And so I thought, you know what? Screw that. I'm doing something different. I'm going to do something a little bit more just like kind of like sexy, dark, and a little bit mysterious. And so I am going the opposite direction. I'm actually going to be rocking a darker house. I think I might go like really dark gray. And it would look, what do you think? Do you think it would be cool to do a house like dark, like kind of like murdered out? My thought is that it's going to be different. And I'm just like so sick of white houses. And so I think I'm going to do something like super cool and dark and like edgy and just like youthful and masculine and modern. Inside will be lighter and stuff, but the outside definitely feeling the dark, right? And the other cool thing is that if I hate it later on down the road, or it's just really, like I built a mullet, because that's kind of the fear, right? Well, actually, mullets are back in style. So what am I even talking about? My fear is that like I do something that I hate in like 5 years, or that's just like totally like out of style. And so I can always paint it. I can always paint it white later. But what do you think, gentlemen? Dark? Down below, let me know. Yes, go dark, Alpha. It's gonna be sick. It's gonna be sexy. It's gonna be manly. You know what rhymes with manly? Tiege Hanley. Speaking of Tiege Hanley, this is a business vlog. It's all about you and your questions. If you have a business question, down below, start it with business question and ask your question. Each week, I try to get to some of them. I try to fumble through them. Last week, we had the opportunity, Antonio and I, to tag team a question by Paul Clark, My Freight Network, talking about copyright and trademark. Did we butcher it? Probably so, but we did our best, and it was cool to have somebody smarter than me give a little insight. But there are a few questions today that I'd like to get to. The first business question comes from our friend, Logan Stover. He says, hey, Aaron, me and a couple of my buddies are starting a business and we're trying to figure out when we eventually file to become a legal entity, which business type makes sense for 3 owners, LLC, S-Corp, partnership, etc. And whichever one we decide, does the business pay tax and we pay tax after that? How does that even work? Do we 1099 ourselves, 1040, W-2, and deal with payroll with no employees? This is hold on, there's more. Wait, is there more? Thanks for the time, LOL. I know it's kind of a lot of questions, but I figured, okay, so here's the deal. I'm gonna just answer your questions, an LLC. That's what you should set up, in my humble opinion. You're new, it's easy to set up, it's affordable to set up, and there are a lot of benefits to having an LLC, all right? It is kind of like your personal assets are protected. There is a corporate kind of like veil or umbrella. An S-Corp, a little more like nuts and bolts, and really it's about like how you're filing like taxes and things of that nature. in terms of whether or not you're a C Corp, an S Corp, or an LLC. For me, all of the entities that I have, except Tiege Hanley, we recently converted to a C Corp. All of them are LLCs, even businesses that just I own. It's an LLC because of basically the protection umbrella of the corporation. Now, how does it work in terms of taxes? I am not in any way, shape, or form an accountant or very educated on taxes. Hold on, wait a second. I can't make a joke about taxes without saying, what's up, Ryan Markowitz? I was gonna make a joke about like, I know how to pay a lot of taxes because Ryan, you always call me whenever I start bitching about taxes. Love you, Ryan. All right, so anyway, what the hell was I even talking about? Okay, yes, so taxes. I'm not an accountant, I don't know anything, I'm not smart like that. But what I do know is that when you have an LLC, whatever your profit is, all right, it's going to flow directly to you, your partners, depending on the amount of equity that you each have. Like if it's a third of the profit is going to flow directly to your personal income tax. And so then you're going to be taxed. Your entity is not taxed. You are going to be taxed on your basically your income, like whatever your income is, like whatever that what am I trying to say? Tax bracket. Whatever your tax bracket is, depending on the amount of money that you're actually earning or you make, right? That and possibly if you have a job and then you start a business and you have profit, it's going to flow directly to you. It might bump you a little bit in terms of tax bracket, and so you might actually have to pay more because of that money that is flowing through. But beside the point, the money that you make in terms of profit from your business, your LLC, flows directly to your personal taxes. Then you just pay regular income tax on that profit that you've actually made. Now, if you don't make profit, there's nothing to flow through to you, and so your taxes are going to be low. The business itself does not get taxed on the profits. It's not double taxation. Now, when you convert over to like a C Corp, there's more like intricacies behind that. But for right now, I would simply set up an LLC. It's easy to do, like I said, and it's not a big deal. And it's going to give you some protection, your personal protection, right? So if somebody sues you, just give you an example, they're going to sue the entity, the LLC, and your personal assets are not attached to it, if that makes sense. There's a separation, and that's one of the reasons why an LLC legally is a nice type of entity to actually set up. There is not the same type of protection with a partnership, and so, or sole proprietor, it's not the same. An LLC is definitely going to give you the corporate veil of protection. Now, in terms of W-2 and 1099, if you set up a payroll company or have a payroll company pay you basically from the company, which I would recommend doing sooner rather than later. A lot of people are like, oh, I'll do it, I'll wait later, I'll wait, I'm not going to take a salary yet. As soon as you think you can, I would, because if you are going to be an entrepreneur, you need some type of record of you actually making a salary if you're ever going to need a loan or anything like that. And so just having like a distribution at the end of the year is fine, or quarterly or annually, whenever you decide to do it. But having on paper that W-2 income is good to show, hey, I've got, this year I made X number of dollars of W-2 wages, and then I also made this. W-2 taxes, or W-2 wages are also kind of cool because they will take taxes out for you. And so it's not quite as big of a hit at the end of the year. Now, if you take additional money for a distribution or whatever, then you're also going to have to pay taxes on that money because it has not been taxed yet. The best rule of thumb is to get a good accountant, and because they are worth their weight in gold in telling you and teaching you and helping you kind of navigate the legal entity waters, and also help sort of set things up and help you structure tax-wise the best so that you are paying your fair share, but you're not overdoing it. And so my recommendation to you is talk to an accountant. They're going to be your best bet because I don't know that much about taxes other than paying it. Looking at you, Ryan. I'm kidding. The next business question comes from my friend and your boy, Joey, over at A Man and His Thoughts. What's up, Joey? He says, business question. When creating thumbnails for your videos, how do you come up with the ideas? Also, what do you feel is more important, the thumbnail, title, or content? 1000% thumbnail is the most important thing to a video in terms of it doing well. Because if you've got an incredible video, like that's the thing. There are a lot of incredible videos with amazing content, but the thumbnail sucks. And if the thumbnail sucks, you're not going to click on it, right? Because you have a split second when somebody's scrolling or gets shown it on like the video, like, or the YouTube home screen or a recommended video. You've got literally like a split second to either capture their attention or they're going to be right past it. It's got to stand out. It's going to stick out. And that's kind of the game that everybody is playing. What is the most alluring, provocative thumbnail that people, that you can produce in order to, get people to click? And that's, unfortunately, the game that everybody is playing. And so, yeah, in terms of how to come up with ideas, I don't know. I just, I'm not sure. If I'm being honest. The process is, what is the content of the video I'm doing, and what is a way to make a thumbnail that is kind of, a question. Like if it can be like a question, like what the hell is he talking about? Or wait, why is he saying that with that X that's wrong? I wear that. Or, why is the pointing to the butt and it says do it? Like that's, for me, it's kind of like, you want to make people like kind of question it and think like, wait, what the hell is he saying? Or just be a little bit more outlandish. At least that's kind of the game that everybody's playing nowadays. It used to be easier, right? You're competing with more people now. And so in terms of how to come up with the idea, I don't even know. I don't even know what to tell you other than just think a little bit about how to create a thumbnail that's a bit outside of the box, that's a little bit more provocative, a little bit more alluring, a little bit more like in your face, and those typically will make good thumbnails. And the last business question comes from our friend, Hireshkish Mendy. I'm sorry, brother, for butchering it. And I'm also going to be sorry and apologize in advance because I don't know where to start with this. How to start a wine company. I don't know. The only thing I know how to do with wine is drink it. And I love me some dry wine. I love red wine. And I would like to just acknowledge and send a big AlphaM Tiege Hanley thank you to John. John, you know who you are, over at 40 Over Fashion. John sent me a text literally like an hour ago. Says, "Yo, I saw last vlog and I see you like dark." Actually, I'm gonna read this because it was such a cool thing. He says, "Hey Aaron, it's John Galfano. I saw that in your last video that you like Chianti. Since classic Chianti is 80% Sangiovese, the grapes, I would like to send you a couple bottles of Sangiovese from Temecula Valley. This is a warm weather Sangiovese, so you'll notice the darker red, purple because of the thicker skins. You'll also notice jammy and ripe plum flavors. If you want me to send you a few of my favorites from the valley, let me know what a good shipping address is." And I said, "John, the one thing I will not do is say no to free wine and good dudes. And you are, well, you're a good dude. I don't know about the wine yet, but I have a very unrefined palate. But John, thank you so much." Gentlemen, somebody else I'd like to say thank you to is you, because at Tiege Hanley, we love you more than our double monk strap shoes. If you have a business question, start it with business question down below. And next week, I will try to get to some of them. I'm also going to give you a Tiege Hanley update. You rock.